Hello, welcome back to my channel. My name is Kaylee, and in today's video, I'm going to be doing a get to know me / craft and chat. I am currently updating my rug product pictures for my website, and I wanted to go through all my rugs and detail and shape them just so they're all camera ready. So I thought, why not film the process and make a little series out of it and chat with you. So with that being said, let's get to know me. My name is Kaylee. I am 19 years old. I am a January Capricorn, and I am born and raised in Virginia. I've been homeschooled my whole life, but back in 2023, I graduated from high school, which feels super weird to say. Growing up, I wasn't that much into academics, but I was always interested and passionate about pursuing fine arts. When I was 6 years old, my mom enrolled me in a dance studio, and I was also a praise dancer at a church my family and I went to at the time. I was the youngest one in the class, being amongst teens and graduating seniors, which to any 6-year-old is extremely terrifying, but overall it was a very safe and nurturing environment. But at the age of 7, I decided to quit praise dancing to pursue other genres of dance. At the age of 10, I realized I wanted to dance at a different skill level, so I auditioned to become a competitive dancer at the studio I was dancing at the time, and I passed the audition. I was a competitive dancer for about 2 years at the studio I was currently going to, until eventually I grew out of that studio and wanted to explore going to another studio. Then, after some trial and error of finding a new dance studio to go to, finally at the age of 12, I came across my last and final dance studio, and I really saw myself staying long-term until I graduated. Me personally, when it came to finding a new studio to go to, the main thing that I really wanted was a place where I felt welcome and a place I can feel loved and surrounded by people who want to be a part of my journey and see me blossom and really give words of encouragement throughout my process and throughout my journey in general. And I also wanted to find a studio that treated all their students equal and didn't put one above the other, and we were just here doing the same thing that everybody else is doing, which is dance. So when I finally found a studio that checked off all those boxes, I was obviously very excited and couldn't wait to see where they were going to take me in my dance journey. I was at this studio for a total of 4.5 years, the first year being amazing. And as soon as I turned 13, I felt like things went downhill. Which at the time I thought, I'm entering my teen years. Of course, I'm going to have these feelings of, sadness and being very quiet. But over time, I realized that wasn't the case. But one thing I didn't understand when I was younger is it was because of my environment. My environment made me physically and mentally drained. I would wake up with a migraine and I would dread going to dance, the one thing I loved the most in life. And I feel like my main problem was I would internalize my feelings. I wouldn't tell people how they made me feel or how this certain thing made me feel because I didn't want to be an inconvenience. I didn't want to inconvenience anyone. And my teachers would always say it is a safe space where a family just communicate how you feel. And even when I did that, I still felt like I was the one in the wrong, or I was blamed, or somehow it was my fault because I'm just trying to make something into nothing, which was not the case. And again, you tell me to communicate how I feel, and I do that, and it's still wrong. So what do? And after a while, I felt very alone, and there was only one teacher that actually, cared about me and was not really on my side, but just listened to me and understood what I was saying and really took my words to heart and shared with me that I believe you. And that was fun to hear, and it didn't make me feel like I was the only one seeing things or hearing things. Because me personally, I was always raised, if you see something wrong, say it. Like, if you see something, say something, because things can lead to a really big problem. And I am not a huge fan of being a bully or being around people who poke fun at people. If it's kids your same age, if it's little kids, I'm not a fan of that. That is very, to me, disgusting behavior, and I just don't stand with that kind of stuff. And if I see something like that happening around me, I have to say something. And I was selected to be in a group where the rest of the students looked up to us, and we were supposed to be role models, and we led by example. And I was the only person who led by example. And my mom just taught me, give 110% in everything you do. And being that I was so passionate about dance, I was passionate about dance. That's all I wanted to do at the end of the day. Nothing else but dance and just hone my skill. And being that I was the only one showing up, it became very exhausting. I was at a point where I was very overwhelmed. I was very frustrated and annoyed, and I really needed a break from dance. I didn't want to quit dance. I didn't want to quit dancing at the studio, but I just needed a break. So fast forward, it is the beginning of 2020. At that time, I was 15 years old, and we all know what happened in 2020, so we were quarantined. So in quarantine, I was doing a lot of work on myself, and I was feeling pretty good until we had to go back into dance after quarantine ended. So when we went back to dance, I felt like all of the work I did for myself and my mental health just got destroyed. I was very depressed. I had brain fog, which some people will call disassociation. I was very out of it. I was very emotional. And this may sound really weird, but over time, the part of myself I started to lose, it felt like I was gaining a new identity. And I feel like that identity was found when I turned 16 back in 2021. 16-year-old me was really searching for happiness, and at that time, a way out of a toxic environment. So at the age of 16, I decided to quit dancing in general. And I remember it like it was yesterday. During the summertime, I had summer classes, and on my last day, I went in, did my class. No one talked to me, which was amazing. I got my yoga mat, and they never saw me again. Was the owner really happy by that email? No. And to be honest, I don't care, because I was at a point where I wasn't happy, and now I am. So that should be my main goal. I was able to get closer with my family, spend time with my family more, spend time with my pets more, and I was just able to have control over my life. And yes, I would get the occasional, oh my God, what are you going to do with your life? Like, oh, what are you going to do? You're not going to go to college. You're not going to do this. You're not going to do that. And I'm like, I'm just living, because at this point, this is the most sound mind I've been in years. And till this day, I know that that was the best decision I could have ever made for myself. That experience really taught me everything happens for a reason. Those people were put in my life for a reason to teach me something about how people are, about how to stand up for myself, about how to express my emotions, and just make me realize how powerful my voice is. And what's weird is when certain people are put in your life and they're constantly talking down to you, their main goal is to make you feel miserable. But for me, I was able to flip it around and really learn from them, learn how not to be in life, learn how to talk to people, and just learn how to not take people's words to heart, because at the end of the day, those people who are saying those hateful things about you, it's on them. They have a issue. They have something that they're going through, and they're taking it out on other people. When I was younger, I would beat myself up a lot, thinking that there was something wrong with me. There was something wrong that I said. I could have done this better. I could have done that better, which over time I had to realize it's not my fault, because I was just existing. And just by me existing made people very angry. So just to make them more angry, I chose to keep existing. So here I am, 16 years old, just quit dance. My whole life, I dedicated my life to dance for 11 years, and now that's all over. So I did what any 16-year-old girl would do. I cut all my hair off. Like, I didn't have to do that, but I just did because I just felt like it. I was always wearing my hair in a bun all the time, which is really bad for your hair. So I just wanted to just cut it off. And it was a little bit damaged because at competition, we would always have to straighten our hair anyway. So I just wanted to start anew. For me, the age of 16 is the age of relaxation. So that's all I did up until I was 17. At 17, I was searching for things I found interest in, because while being in dance for 11 years, I didn't really have time to do other things besides dance. I didn't have much hobbies because my whole life was dedicated to dance. And at the same time, I wanted to start making money, because while I was dancing, I couldn't find a job or have a small business because I was dancing all the time and I just didn't have time in it, and I couldn't fit that into my schedule. And also, I didn't have time to learn how to drive. So at 16, I got my permit, which till this day, at age 19, I still have my permit. I do not have my license, but that is a conversation for another day. So getting back on track, I was 17, researching things that I wanted to do. Growing up, I was crocheting because my mom taught me how to crochet. But at that time, I did not want to make a crocheting business because I find that more as a hobby, and crocheting is very time consuming, and I feel like that would take the fun out of crocheting for me. So while researching, I came across punch needling, and I found that very fascinating. And while going down that rabbit hole, I came across tufting. And that really amazed me. So I thought, why not get into tufting rugs? So with that, I took all my allowance money and got all of the things I needed to start a tufting business. Once I got all of the things I needed, I started practicing, and within a couple months, I was making rugs. And now that I was so comfortable with making rugs, I officially wanted to open up my business. So at 18, I registered my business, I opened up my Etsy shop, and creationsbykaleigh was born. I opened my Etsy in early 2023, and that experience was very exciting and also very scary. And during that time, I was posting on social media, and that was also very scary because it's very new and it's very time consuming, but over time I got used to it. Then 4 months in, I got my first ever rug commission order. And that process was so fun and exciting and scary also, because I was making a 6-foot rug, and that rug was supposed to be shipped to Florida. And then a month after that, I got my first ever Etsy sale, which was so exciting and rewarding because I was getting to a point where I was very frustrated because I would see other people who would open up their Etsy, and as soon as they opened up their Etsy a week after, they were getting sales and all this stuff. And for me, it took me 4 months to get a sale, which really, in hindsight, is honestly really good. Also, towards the end of 2023, I decided I wanted to put more things on my Etsy that weren't just rugs, so I decided to come out with keyboard rug mats. And throughout the year, I was making some more sales, I was getting some commission work, and overall, it was a really good first year as a small business owner. So now my business is 2 years old, and this year has been really different from my first year as being a business owner. I now have a website, and I also still have my Etsy, but I wanted to make a website just so I can give my business more of a brand, which again, I'm still working on it, being that I'm only in year 2, and who knows, a couple years down the road, I may change my branding and all that kind of stuff. And I've been trying to introduce more products to my shop that aren't rug related or keyboard rug mat related. So I came out with wristlets, corner bookmarks, and also coasters. I also currently created a Black Empowerment collection where I sell engraved keychains, which I want to do a lot more with that collection, so stay tuned for that. And I was just thinking about this. If I went back in time and got to talk to my 6-year-old self and told her that I am currently running a small business, she would have looked at me like I was literally crazy, because this was never really in the plan for me. Growing up, I always dreamed of owning a studio or one day becoming a rockette or a professional dancer or a choreographer or a backup dancer, really anything that was dance related, and I didn't have any dreams besides dance. And while recording this voiceover and going through all of the timestamps of my life, I realize how life is so unpredictable. Going about life, you never know what's in your path, and you may think you may know what's in your path, but really at the end of the day, we're all just living life and just seeing what happens. And with creating Creations by KEHOO, I am just seeing what happens. I don't know what the future has in store for my business, but I created this YouTube channel just to document my journey and to have you be a part of my journey. And if you would like to be a part of my small business journey, make sure you subscribe. I hope this video helped you to get to know me more. If you would like to visit my website or my Etsy, they're all linked down in the description below. And make sure to follow me on all my socials, which are also linked down below. So that being said, have a great rest of your day or night, and I will see you next time.